Everybody, Gerone Wright here, and once again, you're joining me on my Gerone Wright YouTube channel here on YouTube. Okay, I have a mirrored painting up here. Okay, the mirrored image is of world famed artist George Condo. George Condo became most recently popular for creating the Hermes Birkin bag for Kanye West, the painting that he put on Kanye's wife's Kim Kardashian's bag there. Okay, and I also did the decodings on that as well too, with some assistance of others. Okay, I have that video, so you can check that video out as well. Now, the original image that this is mirrored from, which Mike mirrored for me, is from the cracked cardinal image by George Condo, where I'm telling you that the cardinal image is cloaked in the robe gear here of the Pope, the covering, like the shawl, like there of the Pope, and it shows where Condo actually is describing the Pope's penis in the cardinal's mouth there. Okay, so if you Google that image, the cracked cardinal, I've decoded this image as describing that Condo is implying that the Pope's penis is in cardinal's mouth. This is what occurs. And again, I can't stress the fact enough is that this artist has reached a high peaked level of success, and therefore for him to take the chance on his career, on everything, to do this. I mean, this man, I mean, he has an ancient hidden knowledge, a higher knowledge that actually presidents or trumps everything, because no one has came forward to challenge him on this creation, on this art creation. No one. And again, I tell you that ancient rooted religion and ancient rooted royalty are the ones that governed art, the original art forms. All of our world's art derives from that of ancient rooted religion, the governing of the ancient rooted religion and ancient rooted royalty. And there was a time back in Renaissance era where all art that came through the Renaissance era had to be checked and verified through religion. These artists today, their artworks and their styles and encryption styles are based on those eras. So for this artist to put a penis in a cardinal's mouth, a Pope's penis in a cardinal's mouth, then this artist is doing it through his underlying knowledge of something that is actually occurring. Now, the reason why I'm back with this, okay, I did a video on that. If you want to see that video, you can go from there. But the reason why I'm back with this is because I looked at this and we can all see that there's clearly a monkey's face in there with green eyes, and I'm the first ever that actually ever talked about the reptilian ape, on what's going on with the reptilian ape there. Okay, you see like a red helmet on this guy, and then you see where this is a mirrored image now. So when it's mirrored, it creates hands holding across. So I'm going to show you this image mirrored creates two hands and actually transforms this image into this. Now, when I look at this, you know what I see? Something that I used to have as a child, something that was in my hand as a child. And you're not going to believe it when I tell you what this is implying. It implies this. Remember those PEZ candy dispensers? PEZ, PEZ, with the little heads on them? A PEZ candy dispenser is what this is actually describing. These are a bunch of Disney's PEZ dispensers here. This one happens to have a monkey's face on it. I'm going to show you something about this because it actually gets deeper. Let me find my image up here of that. I have one with a monkey actually on it. Look at this guy. Look at what's happening here. Look at that. Now look at this. This is a PEZ candy dispenser with a monkey on it. Now we all know that to get the candy to come out of the mouth, you have to put your 2 fingers on it and pull down. This is what this is describing. But in this case, people, there's a penis coming out on this side and a penis coming out on that side, because you know what this is implying? With the penis, yeah, it's pulling down on the penis to cough up a nut, to bring up a nut. So it's my position that this artist George Condo created, when he mirrored in his work, when you do mirrored images of his work, it creates the reality and the underlying message that he's stating. So he's comparing this PEZ candy machine, which when you pull down on it, it coughs up these white pieces of candy in the forms. He's comparing that to his artwork and his description of what's going on with this Pope and the Cardinal. And if you look at this, even this looks like a PEZ candy dispenser, this entire image. It actually becomes the PEZ candy dispenser when you mirror the image. Now, what's disturbing even more yet about all of this is that I've tied Disney to my discoveries. And here Disney has this wonderful collection of these PEZ candy dispensers. Now, I'm going to show you something else. Notice how the Pope image, the cloak of the Pope, and the Cardinal comes together and there's a monkey. This is all about genetic bridging that changes our Caucasian counterparts from that of our ape and African ancestors. So therefore, to verify myself on what is being shown here, this image here that he has suggesting the presence of the Pope and the Cardinal, now you take them faced into each other, and then you have the image of the monkey. So basically, all you have to do is Google Pope and Cardinal images which are together, and you get the similar scenario of popes and cardinals coming together. In this case, this is an African image of a cardinal. Notice the Pope's hands coming. Notice that they're coming together. This is the scenario here. I got another PEZ. Here's another. Well, I'm gonna keep going with the cardinal thing because I have another PEZ machine image here. Now, here's another cardinal. Now he is a special cardinal, because this cardinal here is Major Archbishop of Immaculate or something of the Syro Malabar. So he is a major archbishop in cardinal wear. But notice all of the chains and things wrapped around his neck, because I found that to be reminiscent of the way this mirrored image creates these lines, these rope lights that comes off and creates this. So when I see this mirrored image, the closest in description that I can find online when I Google is this major archbishop. Again, here's the image that is portrayed. Those chains and those ropes going around in this direction when the image is mirrored. This is the only figure that I found to date that even comes remotely close to what is being described here by George Condo. You have an African ape figure. You have a pope, implication of a pope, an implication of a cardinal together. All three of these, well, actually all four of these scenarios, you have the presence of the cardinal. You have the, and people, I'm sorry for saying that Africans are being referenced as monkeys, but I mean, this is the way they did it in the artwork. They didn't put an African face there. They put monkeys. So this is the presence of that of an African, then the presence of a pope. And they're telling you that genetically all entwined together, almost like a puppet, a puppeteer on these strings, all together. These genes are called in a cauldron-like way, are created. I'm sensing and seeing that what is being implied by George Condo is referencing this archbishop. Look at the chains on his neck. Look how the chains are going in the direction on his neck from all different angles. Array. Look at that. It's very unusual to see that image. But look at how, again, this George Condo captures these chains going in different directions in this scenario. Again, you have this archbishop who is ordained by pope figures in the cloak of that of cardinals, what cardinals are expected to wear, and the presence of those chains. So everything that is being implied here in this image is mirrored in this image. Everything that is implied here is here. And he's carrying the cross in his hand of the church. Everything that is being implied here is here. Everything that is being implied is here is here. Now, did I get that? I have some more images. I'm going to keep going through these images, people. Again, this hat created here. Here's some of these cardinals caps. Oh, this is actually the one for the archbishop. Look how these ends are turned up here. Look at the way these wings go flying off in the back, like a cloak lifted up. See that? Here's another cardinal. This is Burkina Faso Cardinal Felipe being accepted into being capped as a cardinal by a pope. Notice the hands coming through the back. People, the same scenario. Here's another image of a Cardinals cap. Again, all of this is being described here. Here's an image of, I believe, a Popo figure. I don't know if he's at a Cardinal at this point, but I put this image up and all because I find this to be disturbing, to be totally honest with you. And the reason why I find it to be disturbing because you have the Popo figure in red and white, which I'm telling you that this represents the blood and this represents the semen, and it's shown being carried by an African-like figure dressed in blue and in white. You know, these images and these pictures, look at what's going on here. I mean, to me, you guys look at this as something as being holy and divine. When I look at this, I see something dealing with cult and satanic worship. As we've been describing it to be. People to dress up in these robes, which none of them to this date have given you any description of why this even occurs. Why they even dress this way. What is going on with this? That these rituals are taking place. They do not describe it. And this stuff is ancient as dirt. But no one, if you go and ask them, what are they doing? Why are they dressed this way? None of them can give you a description of it all. You know, this is very disturbing. I'm telling you that this is rituals that involve the sharing of blood and of semen. Again here. People, what do this have to do with God? What do this have to do with supposedly worshiping a higher power? These people are worshiping each other on a high level. On a high level where there is finances involved, gold, worship of material objects, silver, cult-like flask, Gothic-like appearances. This is worship of material objects here in our world. Again, look at the hands coming together, how they grasp each other. It's the same thing here. Now, I'm going to go into something else that's a little bit more disturbing. When I started Googling the PEZ candy machine thing, and again, I'm telling you that that's what this is applying. This PEZ candy machine, you go down, there's the images of two dicks here. It's telling you that the nuts shoot up. You pull down on it in a masturbating way, and there's the dicks right there. And it's creating a PEZ candy machine. Again, people, we know how PEZ candy machines operate. You pull down on them, and a square piece of candy pops out of the mouth of that creature. Now, is this the whole idea and concept behind these toys? Because that's what this artist, George Condo, is suggesting. I've linked Disney to this. And look at all of their PEZ collections. Is this what they're stating now? That these PEZ candy machines are coughing up contaminated DNA to children? Is this how they're describing that they're contaminating the world through a candy? I mean, there are implications now. People don't think that this is far a stretch, because I can take you there where there are these suggestions, not just with that, but in many other things where entities are riding on the level of success of household items, food, and other products that are being catered to the public. Do you think that I would be foolish enough to go and put this up here and have a backlash from these people, which are mighty and powerful, the public or any, and not know what I'm doing and talking about? What better way to contaminate the masses of people than through a PEZ candy machine, and then while implying it, telling you that the DNA is being coughed up and you're putting it in your mouth, and then keeping the cult-like object around in your house as a souvenir describing what has occurred. I've tied Disney to these cult underlining circles where it involved ancient rooted religion and ancient rooted royalty. I'm telling you that this is a representation of cult-like objects and materials that is targeting children in our world, point blank. Here are some other PEZ dispensers. Look at this. Look at this. Imagine with me that everything that I'm describing, bloodlines being created through ancient rooted religion and ancient rooted royalty, that contamination, that DNA, being dispensed to children through PEZ candy dispensers. Now, this is with Disney. Now, there's a collaboration of this dispenser with Disney and McDonald's, which I've also linked to this supposed DNA cauldron-like scenario where these genes are targeted at certain groups of people to destroy certain genes in their body. Elimination, cross-contamination, destruction of people's genes, a breakdown, an extinction process targeted at certain people. The collaboration with them, with Disney and McDonald's, is on this PEZ candy machine. It's a weird looking PEZ candy machine, isn't it? And this Jungle Boy, this is a popular Disney figure, this Jungle Boy, and I'm going to get into some other things here in a minute. But as soon as I saw this, let me put this up here. Because if you Google PEZ candy machines, this will be one of the images that'll come up. If you Google PEZ candy machines and then go to images up at the top, this Jungle Boy on this island going for this coconut figure would actually come up. Now, this is a collaboration between Disney and McDonald's, this PEZ candy machine. So, imagine with me again, if you will, that this machine, this PEZ candy machine, that the machine that this dispenser dispenses, now is based on something that McDonald's and Disney came together and created the concept of. This is what this is describing. Nuts. These are coconuts, so these are talking about nuts. Well, that's what this is talking about. nuts being dispensed through a dispenser. Now, I'm seeing, when you Google the image, at first what I saw, first of all, notice that this is a crazy sort of scene. You have an oversized boy on the smallest island that I could ever possibly ever imagine. And notice how the green, which represents reptilian to me, is draped over into the boy's head. Look at this. Doesn't make no sense. Now, the next thing that doesn't make no sense is that a tree would not be this small. I mean, the boy would not be larger than life and the tree would be smaller than life. It just doesn't make no sense. Look at the scenario now. Then they make these coconuts, or these nuts as I like to call them. Look at how they're stacked up. And look at this. Now, what I saw is a penis. The head here at the boy's foot. I saw this coming around, and I saw this being the sack, the balls, if you will. And this is what this boy is shown manipulating. Where you're saying, well, what's going on with the tree, this, that, and the third? The tree is representing a reptilian created genetic, which crossed over that of ape and African, which calls for a genetic change. And this is what this is describing. So, but you can't get all of that from there. I mean, I'm telling you that this is what this is. And this is what the image that I saw first. And this is a PEZ candy machine now. Now, is it possible to get that, for me to prove my point from this point here? Well, basically, all you have to do, after I made that finding, let me find this CD for a minute. I went into my local Walmart and I wasn't even looking for anything. And as I was going to check out, in the checkout aisle, I turned my attention to seeing this here. So I stopped in my tracks and looked at it, because this little boy is the same little boy that's here, that Jungle Boy. But then I turned it around, and then I noticed that the ape is there. See, my position has always been that the genes of the ape were changed over by the lions and bears and these animals, and this is the reason why mankind is actually shown with them. This is just in an innocent way shown with the child. And then on the back, it also has scenarios on the back there. Now, I know that. Now, notice too, by the way, that the lion is choking the snake. Okay, and you notice the tree, the boy at the tree. You notice what's going on here. That one tree is looking dead, the other is looking alive. But I'm going to show you something about all of this. Well, on the back, notice that now basically all I have to do to describe what is happening, because it's showing genetics being pulled and extracted and the utilization of these animals. Okay, and it looks innocent because it's child's play, but it's no different than what they done did is removed the adult figures, which represent genes. And I can show you this in ancient rooted religion and ancient everything, and changed it into the actual animals, and changed it into something innocent and playful with this child. But these are genes which were carried and manifested by adult figures, and I'll prove that later on to you. But I'm going to come back here to this. On the back of this CD, which I did not open because I'm going to take it back to the store and get my money. But notice how the bear bends over the tree for the boy to get the banana. Now, we all know that this is not a real scenario. This could never happen. I'm going to see if I can look at it. This could never happen. You see that? The banana tree, the boy is getting it. You see the bear there? Well, people, what is being described there? I have a copy of it. What is being described there, and you cannot see? What is being described there is talking about genetic bridging. That boy taking DNA. The bananas are describing that DNA. What DNA are they talking about? They're talking about semen. Now, I know you're saying, come on, Gerone, this is some sick shit. Yeah, I agree with you. I really do. But what happens is what you don't see. And by the way, the Jungle Book is Disney Jungle Book story. So you can either Google the image or go to your local store and you can look on the back on everything that I'm stating here. Okay, I'm telling you that this is all showing you genetic bridging and extraction, a cycle between these animals, which has an adult representation about it too, and this child, and it's showing you an extraction of genes, and that's what this is representing. All of the genes that are described in ancient Bible times, ancient Renaissance art are all here, and it's involving a child. That's what this is stating. And on the back, I can show you which genes that they are talking about changing. It's an ancient rooted African gene, and I'm going to get to that point in 1 minute. Okay, but this is the CD for those of you that want to go and take a look and verify basically what I'm stating. Okay, so now let me put this back over here because this is going back to the store. That's a $19 video too, by the way. They have the best business in the world because they're selling you on their cult-like scenario and charging you for it at the same damn time. Here's a close-up. Here's another on the front of that. I actually was running out of ink there, but that's a little of what is actually going on there as well too. I'm running out of ink with that. But what is happening in the back, I blew that up. On the back of that CD, you know what? In the huts, hold on, let me get that CD back again. On the back of that CD, you see where these bananas are? Where the boy is reaching for the bananas right here? Now I'm looking at this. Oh, okay, I can see it here. You see where the boy is reaching for those bananas right there? This boy is grabbing for genes that this bear is crossed between. They're talking about ancient rooted genes. The bear is between those genes genetically. The boy is taking that cauldron-like cocktail and he's taking it. Bananas go in your mouth. Bananas are described in a sense. Most people describe them are comparable to those that, in a sick way, of being like a penis. Okay, therefore the DNA that comes out of a penis would be sperm. That is what is being described here. Now, there's something there that you don't see, but I'm going to bring to your attention, is that there is an ancient tribal figure that is between all of this that you do not even see, representing the DNA that's going into this boy, which calls for his change. Right here is an ancient tribal figure that's incorporated, encrypted into the buildings in the background, and the landscape back there in the buildings. A green figure representing a reptilian likeness. You see that right there? I'm going to show you that figure in 1 minute. So when you go to look at this in your local store, or when you go to your local DVD rental place, or most of you that might have this already in your, turn this over and look into the back, and I'm going to show you the face in a minute of what this face is. Now, this all comes from the PEZ candy machine thing from George Condo, because this is a PEZ candy machine combination between Disney and McDonald's. You see, this is an ancient African-like figure here. See that right there? You see this figure? I'm going to bring in another head. You see that figure right there? You see that, the way that head piece is there? Well, the tree that the boy is pulling the banana from, lo and behold, right there is that ancient gene. So you have showing you there's a bridging over that figure. Look, bridged over that figure with the bear, the animal being utilized, and the new fruit from that tree was given to the boy. This is what is being described to our children in subliminal messages, people. And for those that know what is going on, this is the success of Disney. Because they're selling the souls of our children to something that you have no idea what is going on. Bringing a message into your home, it reminds me again of those Bram Stoker Dracula movies that I watched as a kid. And when they said, you can't, Dracula is not allowed to come into your threshold unless you invite him in. So in order for him to come in, you have to invite him in. People, this stuff is being aired. You're going into their stores and willfully buying this stuff and bringing it home and giving it to your children. The curtains in their rooms. I had some stuff that was Disney in my daughter's room when they were here in the house and all. They're not here now. When they were here into the house, they would their mom went and done their room all up in this Disney stuff. This Disney stuff, and here I'm seeing all kinds of multi-dimensional images, which was in that, and the little stickers in the walls, in their blankets, my kids' blankets. You know, a lot of things that you are afraid of, are in fear of, are secretly brought into your home through the products that you buy. Even on a carton of milk that you bring into your home, these little multi-dimensional images are on there. A lot of people say that they fear evil stuff like the devils and this, that, and the third, and anything that looks like it could be related to something evil. Well, if you start looking at products in your home, or the logos, everything, these labels, everything is labeled. You're wearing clothing, in your clothing designs, these images appear. If it is not plain, then something is on it. These texturing designs in everything has a brand, people, and it's a label on you. And I know what it all means, and I know what it stands for. Now look at this. From a PEZ candy machine by Condo. This is the copy off the back of a CD, and it's showing you an ancient tribal gene bridged over with that of the bear. Look at this. A change, a genetic change, and through the representation of, they can't put the penis there because that would be too damn alarming and damning for you. But they put the bananas as an implication of the penis, because what in the hell is a bear doing helping a boy getting a banana off of a tree? Realistically, it's not so. But you accept it because it's a cartoon. Just like you accept a lot of that shit in ancient rooted religion where there are children naked, and because they have wings on their back, it's okay that they're with grown-ups and in these almost sexual suggestive ways. But I can take it and break it down and show you that it's the same as what is being described here as ancient rooted genes at one point where they were genetically manipulated, now are being rebridged over, and it's showing you in these cartoons with children on how it is being described. This is nothing less. So you have an adult figure in there now, an ancient rooted figure. Look at this face, people. Look. Look at how things come together when the real story is out. You can barely see that face morphing into the landscape of these buildings back here. So it doesn't seem so innocent no more now, because now this little boy is taking the fruit from this ancient rooted figure and the DNA of this bear with the banana, and look how it's being gripped up, and it's implying that of a penis. And we know what comes from a penis. When you peel a penis, point blank. I mean, there's no better way to say it. Now, we go back to this figure, and what does you think is being said? And I'm telling you that this boy is on top of a penis figure, and this is representing the nuts, or the scrotum sac, and this boy is taking the nuts from out of it, and that's why all of this stuff looks like it's melting out of a penis, and the penis sac, the balls. And this boy is shown taking. What in the world? Why is this message being given to your children? Now you see why the tree, you notice it. Notice now that the tree is laying into the boy's hair, showing you, because genetically you're identified through your hair. Notice now how the boy is wearing the tree leaf now. You see this? You're starting to understand these coconuts. You getting the picture? If you look at this, you will see this, I'm telling you, as being that of just like a penis, the head of a penis right here, and coming around to the sacs. Now just imagine a nut sac or your penis are opened up and these balls coming out. He's pulling balls out of a sac, a scrotum sac, and these are the nuts. This is what this is showing. Being genetically altered. This is what this message is about. If this, people, I found this first, and then this came after I went to the store and I seen it, and this verifies everything that I'm stating just by this ancient rooted figure being here that you cannot even see until I highlighted it for you, because it's in the shadows. In the buildings. And if you look, I'm going to see if I can bring that back in right quick before I close this video out. What in the world did I put it back here? I went walking off. People, you cannot even see the figure. Let me bring that in close. Until I showed it to you now. Look, these are buildings back here. That head has no reason being there. You would not even see it had I not told you. That head and face, that green reptilian-like face. And I know what these genes, I know what they're describing by this. I can continue to do this. So these scenes are all describing DNA and genetics in motion based on a genetic breakdown of our ape and African genes through the utilization of animals, which calls for the genetic change of who we are. These Disney animated movies, the success of them, even with Tinkerbell, are all describing the genetics in motion. They are motion pictures of genes going through a larger body. That's all of this is. And they took and broke it down and made an investment in a cartoon that are describing how DNA and genetic changes were made. Look at the Tinkerbell scenario. I can look at those little kid things and show you through each one genes that they're describing. The magic of these genes moving around and changing as they go. Describing DNA being changed and manipulated and subjected to one scenario to the next. That's all it's describing. Genes in motion. My name is Gerone Wright. I'm going to end this video there. Let me make sure I don't have anything else here. And this all started because of George Condo's artwork creating, well, thanks to Mike, the cracked cardinal, when it mirrors, it turns into a PEZ candy machine. I know for a fact that our children are targeted by Disney, by the Vatican, and by many others. And this George Condo figure is not no different. This is describing a PEZ candy machine, a dispenser. And the reality of it all is that it's an undeniable scenario. And through me seeing this first, it was easy for me to just, once I seen this and seen this was a monkey, I knew that this was a cardinal figure. I knew that this was a popal figure. I know that these hands, when they mirrored, it came across that it was describing that piston action of the PEZ candy machine, and it pops up. In this case, there's a penis there and a penis there, and it's showing you a nut being coughed up. In that case, all I had to do was Google monkey PEZ candy dispenser, and voila! Look at that! Look at that face, and look at this face. And then everything else starts coming from that. And then the Jungle Boy comes up. And I'm even seeing, between me and you, I'm even seeing a face right here, to be totally honest with you. I'm seeing a face in here. If you take a quick look, there's a face. I see an eye, nose, and mouth, and chin. I see a face there, and it looks pretty damn close to that face that I was already showing you. But it creates a face of like the mother of creation, because it creates like a reptilian face. But that's what I see, but you guys don't see it. I mean, this is in plastic, so I'm going to let that ride. But I can see a face there at a distance. I can see a face there. And I know what it represents, but I'm not even going to go there. But I'm telling you people that what is happening is something that has been going on beneath our noses all along. And, it's sad that you have ancient rooted religion and ancient rooted royalty that has been around forever, and they're not giving you no answers on anything. And here I am breaking this thing down in video after video, and what is really happening, what is going on. And these people who was there at the beginning of technology, the beginning of time, they enjoy a level of success. Don't nothing go down. I just created a post on my Facebook page where, a lot of you guys are blindsided. I'm going to go again by this Illuminati thing, by this Freemason thing. I'm going to put this up here as I talk. By this Freemason thing, by these secret societies and all of that, these governmental powers and they would rather you believe that. But people, I'm going to tell you again, before there was anything Illuminati, before there was Freemasons, before there was anything, these people always existed. Our ancient rooted religion and our ancient rooted royalty, they govern everything in our world. Everything. All the ancient knowledge of our world is with these people. Kingships and queenships. There is no other power that overrides their power, their chokehold on our world. So, for you to look to music rappers and other music characters and state that they're Illuminati or they're devil worshippers, that. People don't nothing go down unless these people give the stamp of approval. And what's amazing about this is that with all of the money and all of the power that they take in collection, and I wish I had a picture of a king or a queen up here, because these people are in on it too. You know, you would think that with all of the money that you give these peoples in donations, that they would have the testicular fortitude to step up and say, you know what, enough is enough, people. We're sick of this shit and let's stop it. The reason why they don't say anything is because they're in approval of it all. So everything that is going on in your world, in your streets, from the hood all the way up to people that go in power and think that they call themselves God and call themselves Jesus, this, that, and the third, why aren't these people speaking out on it? You know why? Because they're in support of it. They're the ones that are in charge of it. They have the enjoyment of both worlds. In one cloak, they're your religious leaders. In the other cloak, they live their secret lives behind the scenes through those that are projecting themselves to you as the Illuminati, as these secret societies, as these devil worshippers. So they're wearing the hats of everything that you see going on in our world. They act like they don't have no hand in political. But yet everything political in our world is based on the religious identities of those that are acting in the political way or under the political caps of these people. Everything in our world is moved by religion, ancient rooted religion and ancient rooted royalty. You can't blame anybody for anything without blaming these people first. Everything that is happening in our world today is based on this. Everything in our world is based on this. Everything. Whether you want to believe it or not, it is based on this. These people don't have to pay taxes or anything. In fact, I'm going to do a video on that as well too, because this is crazy. You know, they have the enjoyment of not paying taxes or anything, but I mean, and then have the enjoyment of doing under the wire, under the table business transactions, real estate transactions. This is what is destroying our world financially. Kingships and queenships and ancient rooted religion. I mean, I'm telling you people that you need to wake up and you need to look at what is happening. My name is Gerone Wright. I'm going to let this go with that. And it all started with George Condo and this cracked cardinal image that Mike mirrored for me. And the mirrored image of this cracked cardinal image with that penis in his mouth, which would even before mirrored creates a PEZ candy machine, because that's what it looks like, a candy dispenser. It actually becomes a PEZ candy dispenser with that of a monkey. And it's my position that the implication of this led me to other things in collaborations with Disney and McDonald's with the Jungle Boy image, which actually is a PEZ candy dispenser as well too. And again, a PEZ candy dispenser showing with the boy taking nuts. What do nuts, coconuts, have to be doing with the PEZ candy machine and with McDonald's involved in it? You know, I tell you, these nuts are created DNA that is altering the state of being with that of mankind. And these images and these candies are targeted at the virgin bodies of our youth, of our children, their minds and their bodies. Look at how elaborate cartoons targeted at children. Look at the commercialization targeted at children. Why do you think that billions and billions of dollars are being poured into that, targeting your children? It's not about money, people. The worth of money is practically nothing anymore. It's your children's soul, your children's genetic being. This is what this is all about. This is beyond that of money, people. This is about the soul, about the being, the genetic being of these children. This is what this has always been about. Our ancestors always, from day one, was into genetic manipulation and genetic altering of the state of mankind's being. This is describing how from black we became white. This is describing how there is gene altering. This is describing how we get green eyes, we get blue eyes. This is describing how from creatures, bulls, apes, monkeys, lions, tigers, even crocodiles, hippos, how these DNAs were a contributing factor to genetically altering mankind's state of being. The creatures that are being discussed, I actually even linked them to having the same, not genetic compatibility, but you know what I linked to all of these creatures that are being described? That all of the creatures that are referenced in ancient biblical times, ancient Egyptian times, even whether it be oceanic or land creatures, they all carry the same core body temperature, and they're in the same proximity of that of what we have today. I also linked that the core body temperature of our bodies to that of what is going on with extinction. I'm telling you, people, that this is more deeper than you could ever know, and it goes beyond anything that you could possibly even comprehend. But the fact of the matter is that it all is interlinking from one thing to the next, and there's no end to it. It just keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on. And not only do I have it linked to here in our world, to everything in our world, people, I can reach out and put my hand on and unveil it for what it truly is. But not just here in our world, but beyond our world. Everything that was before, everything that can come after, everything that is being altered, what is going on, where it's being directed at, is all described in my discoveries. Look at what's happening. Look at what's on TV today. Nothing is explaining anything even comes close to what I'm describing to you. Nothing. Nothing. You know why? Because this is the truth. Everything that you're looking at on TV is not the truth. It's opposite the truth. I'm going to go on this, people. My time is just about up anyway. I'm almost into an hour of this. Again, because of George Condo, I made this video. I do not give a damn if people are upset about this thing with these religious figures, this, that, and the third. If you want to get mad at somebody, get mad at George Condo for creating a painting with the that looks like a PEZ candy machine, and it has a cardinal image with the Pope's cloak on and the Pope's dick coming out of the cardinal's mouth. If you want to get mad at anybody or get upset, go ahead and get mad at George Condo, because he's the one that caused this floodgate of me going to this PEZ candy machine image, the dick being jacked off, the nuts being coming out, and me linking that to Disney, McDonald's, and these PEZ candy dispensers, and to the Jungle Boy image. Get mad at George Condo, Disney, get mad at the Pope, get mad at the Cardinals, Get mad at all of them for genetically manufacturing DNA that is targeted at destroying certain groups of individuals or people while creating new genes and extending those of the present. Look at life forms as they are. Look at the continents in the order that life has been being created. Look at the life forms. Look at Africans. Look at Asians. Look at the Egyptians. And then finally, we have Caucasians. A combination of all of the above. And then look at them. Look at the green hair, the blue eyes. I mean, look at all of that. The blonde hair, the red hair. And then start looking at these animals that they're worshiping. All through the ancient Renaissance era, you see the mentioning of the damn lion. And then you have the Great Sphinx where you have the body of the lion tied that with the human figure. They're talking about DNA that calls for genetic altering. The Egyptian people are talking about how the lion, through the body of the lion, they genetically altered themselves from the African ape origin on that closer end. And then you have the Caucasians talking about how they did it. And even the Asians are talking about how through the creatures that they are worshiping, the dragons, this, that, the reptilian genes, all of this, they're talking about how they transformed themselves. And then the Caucasians are talking about how they transformed themselves from off of the Asians. Genetic trees, genetic branches, and this is all this is describing, and science cannot figure this out. They're walking around in circles talking about, well, we don't know, this is this, and they're talking to you about these Darwin theories and this selective process. Kiss my ass. This stuff is all genetic manufacturing and is done in an artificial way where people understand what is happening and they're lying to you. And you have them playing the stuff back in your face. My name is Gerone Wright. I'm going to end this video here.